Let's go next to our caller from the 917 area code. Who is calling today from 917?
Is it I?
Yes, it is.
I believe so. Hi, David. I like your show. You're a cool guy. I
Thanks.
just have a quick question about an opinion of yours on the impeachment hearings.
Okay.
Do you find it concerning that the focus of the public and media or slash media seems to be on the political optics rather than the fundamental shift in our governmental principles?
Yes, I do. So the way I've been trying to say it is we can argue over the political expediency of impeachment. We can argue over the timing of impeachment. We can argue as to what we think the outcome will be or whether Republicans will grow a spine and vote to, we can have all that conversation. Impeachment is a process that is a duty of our elected government if the facts warrant it. And I believe the facts warrant it. And that is much more black and white than all of these considerations that are being made about timing, expediency, probability for success. They're both legitimate conversations, but I think the conversation about the duty that exists is not getting the attention it deserves.
Agreed. Very much agreed. A follow-up question. Do you have any idea on how the media could kind of like, because to me as well, I see this as pretty cut and dry. It seems, and it is apparent to me that there were definitely misdemeanors that occurred. I don't know the technical definition of high crimes, but like I would probably toss what he's done in there as well as high crimes. But like, how could the media hold those at fault, because it's not just him, accountable while not sacrificing their viewer retention? Because as we know, Americans have a very short attention span, and I don't think we would be really interested to listen to why it's bad.
To listen to why what? I'm not sure I understand your question.
Sorry. Okay, let me try to rephrase that.
Yeah.
Do you think that there isn't a...
A what? Hello? Okay. I didn't understand the second question. The first one was a good one, and I'm glad that it was a point very, very well made.